Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Corn Racing League. And it is the finale, round number 16 of the Tier 3 Championship here around Brazil. I am your commentator tonight, is of course Matt. I normally am the co-commentator alongside Hedge, but unfortunately, devastatingly, Hedge cannot be here with us tonight. So we're going to have to do it without him, which is a big shame. I know he plays a big part in the Tier 3 Championship, and in terms of his commentary, he's been here all season, done a fantastic job, and I've loved co-commenting alongside him. But yeah, I've got to try and give him the best possible race and try and live up to his amazing commentary. And hopefully, both myself in the comms box and the drivers out on track can give him a race that he will be proud of. But yeah, we're here today for the final race of the season, and we have a title to be decided between, of course, Colt Paradox and Strauss. Now, last time, as hopefully you'll be able to see. And what I do want to say as well, before we get too deep into the stream, if you guys can hear me okay, hear the game, hear my audio, hear the game audio, fine, everything's good, everything's fine, just let me know and reassure me in the comments. I am streaming this myself for the first time. Normally Hedge streams it on our behalf. So if you can see everything, hear everything, everything's running smoothly, just reassure me with a little comment in the section below. But we are here then for the Brazilian Grand Prix, and as you can see, last time out, in terms of the race results, Strauss gave himself a fighting chance of still winning the Drivers' Championship by winning in Russia, but he could only get ahead of Colt Paradox, who comes second and limited the damage and kept his championship hopes alive. So, yeah, Colt Paradox still very much in the driving seat. Strauss just about hanging on in there, and unfortunately, Bowie just missed out and can no longer win the championship, which is a huge shame, as it was, you know, looking like a real three-way fight. But in the last couple of races, it really has been one big mistake, is super duper costly, and it could really play a huge part in how this championship finishes. So yeah, we'll have a little look at the permutations. I know there's some really awesome graphics have been designed so you guys can see exactly what is required for Colt Paradox to win the championship, what is required for Strauss to somehow come back and win the championship, which would be one hell of a result for him. And of course, Bowie is also fighting for P2 with Strauss as well, so there's still plenty of on-track battles that we're going to look at. But as you can see, last time out, Strauss did get the top step of the podium. Colt Paradox was second, and Leon continued his incredible form of late, as he just seems to be getting stronger and stronger each and every race weekend. And yeah, he really is coming strong for Ferrari to end the season on a high, and he was third. Just missing out was McCorney. Mazzles was fifth. Nacho Man sixth, with Doomsray seventh. Bowie could only manage eighth, which, like I say, was just quite not enough to keep him in the championship. And we will have a look at them permutations in a moment. As for the championship, then, this is where we stand going in to the final race of the season. So yeah, Colt Paradox, he leads by 37 points over Strauss, so still a very, very healthy lead. Strauss behind him with only 5 points separating him to third place. Bowie, them three have been tied at the hip throughout this season. They've been the three best drivers, I'd say. I mean, I've only been commentating, you know, for the second half of the season, but as I can see, them three are three of the best drivers. We have a retirement already, and I don't know if that's already on track. Let's see if we can catch it coming through the second sector, and Christoph in the Aston Martin, should I say, is off already. Well, that is a disaster for the Aston Martin team, and that's something that Hedge definitely wouldn't want to see. Let's see if we can skip back and maybe catch another. The car's disappeared. So Christoph has already put the car out of qualifying, as we were talking about, Leon, weren't we? He sets the fastest time and the benchmark currently to beat in Q1 with a 1:78.78, but he is quickly beaten by McCorney, who goes 300s quicker. So yeah, as we were saying then, Drivers' Championship wise, Colt Paradox fighting for the title still. Bowie will be fighting for second. Nacho Man is very close to McCorney, only 3 points separating them. And then Leon is only a further two back. Talking to Leon, he used a bit of the runoff area through the S section, the very tricky section of the track, of course. And yeah, Leon himself fighting for sixth, could very much be as high as fourth tonight, which would be an amazing end to what has been a very good end of the season for him. Dat Roland is up there in seventh, Dragon on Speed in eighth. So plenty of really, you know, close battles could be fought out there, but we are, of course, going to be concentrating on the title fight at the top. So let's not waste any more time, and let's look to see what the scenario is. So the championship fight as it stands. Colt Paradox very much in the driving seat, pardon the pun. 333 points at the moment, 37 points to Strauss. And basically, Strauss needs to win the race. That is the situation we're looking at here. Strauss needs to win the race. If he finishes winner with a fastest lap, then yep, he would require Colt Paradox to finish below P12, and if Strauss was just to win the race without the fastest lap, Strauss can afford to, I think he can afford to come P13. So Strauss scenarios to become champion. So yeah, Colt Paradox needs a top 12 finish if Strauss wins the race. Strauss needs that fastest lap as well. So a solid race is all that Colt Paradox needs. Any other scenario higher than P12 would lead to him being champion, regardless of whatever Strauss can do. But on his days, we have seen, looking at the season results, Strauss has been up there for the majority of races, barring the 2 slip-ups he had in Singapore and Bahrain. He's been P1 in Imola, Mexico, Austria and Russia. He was P2 in Bahrain, and he also won in Canada. So when he races and when he's on it, Strauss is usually up there, which means Colt Paradox has to deliver the sort of consistency that he's been putting in all season. As you can see, when he has finished, he's been in the top 10 every single time, with, I think, 6 podium finishes, 3 victories. So the aim of the game for Strauss is to just have a solid race, a solid result. Strauss needs to win. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how qualifying develops. The first step is, of course, just to get in to Q2. Let's have a look at the comments. So Riordan, all good, Matt. Thank you very much. That is my fellow Tier 4 competitor in the Mercedes, Riordan. Let me know that the stream's all good. Thank you very much for that, my friend. Liv, Mrs. Matt is in the comments. Hope CRL will get you and Hedge on comms duty next season. Definitely the best duo. Thank you very much. I certainly hope that is the case as well. I was looking forward to coming with him tonight, but hopefully we can find some arrangements. Regardless of what tier we're both driving in next season, we can come together once again. And Culper, I assume that's Colt Paradox. Thanks for commentating our league. Enjoy the race. We're going to make it as entertaining as possible. I am sure you guys will. If any of the drivers can let me know what the weather is looking like for this race, please do let me know. Of course, Brazil can always throw up a crazy weather. It can change quite quickly from wet to dry, dry to wet, quite unpredictable weather conditions. So that could play a factor, of course, here tonight. So let's see where we're at on track then. So only 11 times in at the moment. The fastest is Donacho Man in the Mercedes with a 1.7834. Very tight though. The top 4 separated by less than 1/10 of a second, which is always good to see. As yeah, we had a very I would call it a straightforward race in Tier 4. Of course, another reason why I'm gutted Hedge isn't here tonight is because he did win the championship on Monday night. So congratulations to him. Reverend Melvin did win the race with his teammate Quick Killer P2. But, you know, the stewards have got a bit of work to do. As talk of the devil, Strauss has made his mark. He goes quickest with a 1.77. Just inside the 1 minute. 7.7's there by Strauss. But, yeah, it was a McLaren 1-2 on Monday. But the stewards will determine if any possible penalties will get rescinded. So if they do, there's a chance I myself might have won the finale, which is always nice. But, yeah, Hedge did win the race. I think we have a Mercedes, possibly spun it, as, yeah, Jay Hartnell is off the track. Luckily, he's on his outlap, so, yeah, he should hopefully be able to cool his tyres down and get himself prepared for his first flying lap. Hopefully, his tyres aren't too hot, and he hasn't wrecked them by going off track, as he did. But we'll keep looking to see what action is going out on track. Seems to be a few cars, a few yellow flags in Sector 2. I don't know if there's a few spinners in there or if it's maybe just traffic. But yeah, there was a few incidents in the Tier 4 race. You know, Hedge did have to win the... I think he had to get P8, something like that, to be absolutely sure. And it was close. It was close at times. The AFL had to get a podium. He had to be P4, I think, to have any kind of chance. But it was nip and tuck towards the end, so anything can happen. Late safety cars... spins, incidents, collisions. Even if Colt Paradox is leading the race with a few laps to go, it could all quickly go horribly wrong and it could swing back into Strauss's favour, as we seem to have had another spinner. And Leon seems to have retired off track. A disaster. We were saying how good Leon has been all season. Let's see if we can... Jay Hartnell's on board. And there it is, Leon in the wall there. That is a disaster. We've seen how quick Leon can be on his day. And I was just saying earlier, the momentum, the role he's on at the moment, looking to finish strongly, fighting, I think, for possibly P4 in the championship. But that is a disaster. And he's going to have to hope that all the guys yet to put a lap in don't go quicker. And he will at least be starting P15, but at the moment it's not looking very good for the Ferrari. What a shame that is for Leon. As, yeah, he might have a bit of an uphill struggle in the race from there. Pheasant Plucker has set the new quickest time with a 1.7699, so just inside the 1.76s there as Doomsray almost invalidates. Just set a purple sector 2 though, so it's worth seeing what sort of time he will set as he crosses the line. His teammate now out of qualifying. What can Doomsray do on them soft tyres? And he only puts himself up to P3. So, you know, not exactly safe. Dimas coming across the line. Hopefully he can get a good race in this week. He did suffer from connection issues last week, so hopefully he'll be able to get himself a good race and a good result here tonight. Here's Craigo. He looks like he's slightly up on his time. Does the Williams coming final straight. Shouldn't even recognise that left-hander as a corner really, but here he comes, Craigo, across the line. What's he going to improve by? And he jumps Colt Paradox into P9. But yeah, an early look at the two championship leaders, and Colt Paradox currently only P10. I think he'll be comfortable with that. I think he could be okay. Only 2/10 to Doomsray though, so Colt Paradox might need to go a little bit quicker on his second lap here. Strauss more than comfortable. He can put his feet up, you'd think, for the rest of the session. See anyone else who's possibly on a hot lap at the moment. Mazzles must be cooling down. He must have maybe made a mistake. He's in a bit of traffic behind JB. Dragon on Speed just about to start his lap. We're still on board with Dragon on Speed. I believe he did get a podium back in Singapore. I remember that. I remember that was a very good drive from him as yellow flag in Sector 3. I think that's just a little bit of traffic. But, yeah, Dragon on Speed needing a good lap here to get himself... Oh, and he's invalidated there. That turn, that left-hander, very difficult to get right and very easy to invalidate. So he will have to slow that down and go again. We seem like we've had someone off in the S, and it's Gautier who's lost his front wing through the S section. And that is going to be a long trip back to the pits. He's lucky he's not out of the session. Didn't quite catch the crash there, but the S's are very difficult to get right. Very easy to extend through that section. And if you catch the curb, it's very easy to spin it. And Gautier has put it in the barrier. Lucky for him, he'll be able to get back to the pit lane. And he should have time to change that front wing. 5 minutes left. It'll depend on the repairs. It could be close, you know, for Gautier. He needs to get back as soon as possible and get out the way of the Red Bull, which I think was Colt Paradox. Let's see what Colt Paradox can do. And I think he missed. I think Colt Paradox has decided to slow down. Maybe he was put off by the pass of Gautier there and is deciding to just slow it down, stay calm, not push the tyres, and go again. He will need a cool head tonight. That's exactly what he's going to get. Gautier still limping his way back to the pit lane. So, Colt Paradox then, the championship leader, the man on the brink of winning the Tier 3 championship tonight, just needs a cool head. No mistakes, clean race, and you'd like to think he would have a good chance of getting the job done. Currently a 181. Gap to Doomsray in the drop zone is 2/10. Christoph obviously retired without putting a lap in Dragon on Speed. Still yet to put a time into after he did invalidate. Sadistic King is currently on his outlap, so this could change in the next minute or two. Igor or Igor's in the comments. Hello to you all. Sad it's the last race. It is quite sad. I was saying in the Discord, I've only been in the CRL for half a season since Imola, and it's gone so quickly. I want to keep going, and it feels like just it's getting started for me. It's coming to an end, but yeah, I'm sure we'll be back next season before you even know it. I cannot wait. And I don't know if I can't tell if Colt Paradox is pushing here. I think he may have possibly let off again, or maybe not. No, I think he is on a fast lap. Here he comes, yet pushing to the line. What's it going to be for Colt Paradox? A 1.79, 0.2 improvement, puts him up to P7. That is more like it for the championship leader. However, Bowie, of course, fighting for P2, just out of contention for the title with a very good lap there. That is P5. It's took him 4 laps, but he's got there in the end. Let's see if Sadistic King is putting in his lap, and he's coming towards the end of his flying lap. Don't know if he'll have time to go for one more, or if he'll maybe have the battery for one more. But currently at the very back of the grid, could he maybe make it a little bit nervous for the guys hovering above the drop zone? No, he can't. Sadistic King only with a 1.84, which only puts him in P17, so we'll have to see if he has time to go again. Jacko, another man who's in a little bit of trouble here. He only set a 1.9 flat, which is a little bit slower than everybody else, so we're going to see if Jacko can get himself out the drop zone. So Doomsray very much in danger at the moment. Gautier as well on an outlap. Dimas also in trouble. I think anyone from maybe Jay Hart and Lookwood should be okay. The yellow flags again as Pheasant Plucker is retired from the session. I think that's in the garage. Got a bit excited there. Thought something dramatic had happened on track, but it hasn't. Bowie just getting out the way of everybody there. And, well, Jacko appears to have invalidated his lap. Track limits, as I say, around here is very, very difficult. And it looks like Jacko, well, depending on if he can put another lap in. Craigle goes quickest. What a lap that is from Craigle, setting the bar at a 1.75. What a lap that is. And let's see. Can't quite see how long is left with the yellow flags, but Jacko is pushing. And yeah, there is time for him to go again, so be interesting to see what he can do. Gautier, another man trying to get himself out of the drop zone, was able to get himself in, get his front wing repaired, and get himself back out quite easily. But will he be able to put a lap in good enough? Gautier then crosses the line. What's it going to be? A 1.79. Good enough for P9. I think he'll be happy with that. Dimas also looks like, well, he's invalidated his lap. Jacko has gone again, but, well, he's let off, I think. I think Jacko's let off. Maybe he has got enough time to just limp round and push one more time. Dragon on Speed, is he on a lap? Yes, he is, I think. Yep, he is. Dragon on Speed crosses the line then, but it's only a 1.96 for him. Unless that was his out lap. Maybe it was. Yeah, I think it was his out lap. So Dragon on Speed then, hoping to get himself off the very back of the grid. And Jacko will now have to push this lap. This is it for him. Can't let off. He has to go for it on this lap and try and get himself out of the bottom 5. Sadistic King is out of qualifying. He's retired in the pit lane. The question is, who's going to join him? Bowie also happy with his lap. 5 laps it took him on them softs, but he's through, which is all he needs. Let's see what Dragon on Speed can do. Yet to put himself a lap on the board. But here he comes, nice and clean. Should easily get around the final corner as long as he doesn't invalidate on the exit, and that's absolutely fine. That's bang on from Dragon on Speed. It's important to get a good exit from that corner so you don't lose time all the way down towards the line. But Dragon on Speed then only puts himself at 1.85. That's not good enough to get himself out of qualifying. He's also going to be out. And Jacko currently 3/10 up on his time. He's going to need more than that. He's going to need an unbelievable final straight if he's going to have any chance of getting himself out. I think he just catches the grass as well, which won't help him with the speed he's carrying down the line. Jacko gets a 1.86 and doesn't get himself out of qualifying either. And I believe that is it for Q1. Let's have another look around, just see if there's any more laps. I think Jay Hartnell may be pushing. Maybe he's, yeah, he's only going to set a 1.11, I think. So, yeah, nothing, no speed to be found there. And I believe everybody else has put their time in. Craigo setting the bar at a 175. And I think that might be it for qualifying. I think the only 3 at the bottom 5 who've not retired yet. Yep, we're all finished with their laps. So that is it for Q1. No drama in terms of the championship leaders. Craigo sets the fastest time then by over a 10th to Pheasant Plucker. We said it last week. We hope Pheasant Plucker can have a good race because he shows good pace every quali session. We'd just like to see him have a good, solid, clean race. McConey third. Strauss, of course, needs to pretty much win the race. He's up there in fourth, showing good pace. Darchman fifth. Bowie doing well up there in sixth. And the championship leader, Cole Paradox, in 10th. So he's going to have to improve a little bit if he's going to get easily into Q3. He doesn't want that to be a nervous one. Out then, Christoph couldn't put a time in. He crashed out. Jacko, Dragon on Speed, Dim, Sadistic King, and Leon, who, of course, as we know, very quick driver of late, crashed out and is out of qualifying as well. So, yeah, we've actually lost 6 runners in that session, which means we'll be going into Q2 with 14 runners. And it'll be interesting to see the strategy going into Q2. What tyre do you want to start on? I believe, I'm trying to remember the strategy we all went for. I think we might have managed a soft medium. I think we might have managed that on Monday. I'll have to double check. But I think a one-stop's possible here. I think it might suggest soft hard, but you can push the soft medium, of course. Safety cars can always change that. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what the guys do. If they want to just play it safe, get through on the softs, or maybe try and get on the mediums to start with and then go for the softs at the end. So then let's see what the guys are looking at in terms of tyres. So a couple of guys looking to set a time on the mediums. McCorney, Pheasant Plucker, Jay Hartnell and William. I think McCorney and Pheasant Plucker could have the pace to get through on the medium tyres. Called Paradox. The weather very Brazilian, very beachy, too hot to drive. So it sounds like we're in for a dry race. Hoping maybe for a cheeky little bit of wet weather, but then again, you don't want the weather intervening too much in the championship. You want it to be a straight fight. But a good mix so far of medium and soft tyre runners. JB out on the softs. Yeah, dry race is what we're looking at. Honestly, it seems like us Tier 4 guys, we always get the wet races in Tier 4. You Tier 3 guys, you've had it so easy. Beautiful weather, dry racing. Not a problem, one stop shouldn't be an issue. But let's see JB then. I think he might be the first to set himself a lap here in Q2. Keeps it well within the track limits in what I think is turn 4, that left-hander. It's near enough flat through the double right there. You may have to lift a little bit. And, ooh, yeah, JB crosses the apex of that corner, the inside. Too much invalidates his lap there. That's a shame. William coming through. Sector 2 in the McLaren. Again, a little lift. That's a great camera angle there to see the speed through that section. Does he? Nope, he doesn't exceed track limits. Keeps it nice and clean through that tricky little right. Going through the uphill left-hander. McCorney sets a 186. Oh, there's a spin there. William, sorry. Spins his car. I don't know if he caught the curb there. Got a bit of a snap of oversteer. But William will have to cool them tyres down and go again. Craigo setting the pace once again with a 177. Craigo also off track now. Maybe he's just ran a little bit wide. Heading into the first 2 corners, but he set a good lap anyway. But yeah, McCorney, Pheasant Plucker. Not bad laps on the mediums, but whether that'll be enough for them to get through, we'll have to wait and see. Here's Jay Hartnell. He's looking to Put himself through to Q3 on them medium tyres. Where's he going to put himself? Up to the line he goes. And Jay Hartnell with a 1.9 flat. A 1.9001, which is only P6. So far, I wouldn't say the mediums are looking too great. Strauss, interestingly, out on the soft. So Strauss not... Well, look at that for a lap from Strauss. 1.775. He's not messing about. He wants to start on them soft tyres. And he's showing his pace on them tyres. Strauss goes quickest this time. And it's going to be interesting to see what Cole Paradox can reply with. He looks like he's selected the softs in the pit lane. Whether he changes his mind or not, we'll have to wait and see. Let's see if anybody else currently on a flyer. I think Jay Hartnell may be going again on the mediums. We'll have to see. Doomsray might be on an outlap. Oh, we catch Jay Hartnell. Well, I need to stop jumping to him. Every time I cut to Jay Hartnell, he spins his car, and he's done it again. Sector 2, and yeah, his tyres are way too hot, and he's spun it again as he's trying to get himself going. Well, that's twice we've jumped to Jay Hartnell, and he's spun his car twice. I need to stop cutting to him. I'm clearly cursing him, but his mediums might be done for. I don't know if he's going to have enough life in them now to push one more time. If he can put a good lap in after the spins he's had on them tyres, then fair play to him. But that will not help his medium tyres. Cole Paradox out on a outlap at the moment. Doomsray looks like he's on a flyer. He has put 2 laps on these softs though. Of course, you don't want to put too much or take too much life out of your starting tyres around Brazil. Tyre temps are an absolute nightmare around this track as well, so that's going to play into the setup of the drivers, I'm pretty sure. But Doomsray 2/10 up on his time. Looking good to get into Q3 if he can keep this speed up. Although his softs will be a little bit more worn than he would probably like. But he crosses the line. A 1.87 from Doomsray. That's only P11. So, yeah, someone must have gone quicker ahead of him to just knock him down that little bit more. And now we're on board with Rogue Flash. Rogue had a very, very good race last time out until I think he spun the car late on in the race, but he was showing, well, he was up there with the leaders. I believe Rogue might be reserve once again in the Alpine, but in all of his reserve appearances he's shown unbelievable pace and that he can run with the top guys in this tier. And he's already set a purple Sector 1. This is a beautiful looking lap by Rogue Flash here. It's always interesting to see if, you know, these reserves who step in, could they maybe get in the way of the championship leaders? Could they maybe, you know, cause an incident or something could happen surrounding them that could affect the championship? Especially when they come in and they're as quick as Rogue Flash. He could put this car on pole if he wants to. He set a purple Sector 2 as well. This could be the quickest lap of Q2. Rogue Flash crosses the line. What's it going to be? And it's only a 1.7782. So maybe he lost a bit of time coming out the final corner, but he was up. If it was correct, and he did put 2 purple sectors in. As Cole Paradox, look how close it is. That is what you want to see, isn't it? The 2 championship leaders, or the 2 championship title protagonists, separated by 6, what even is that, thousandths of a second? That is exactly what you want to see. Gautier looks like he's out on maybe he's on an in-lap. 3 laps he's put on them tyres. McCorney then, another one who is capable of putting his car on pole. He was another one up there last week, in and amongst the leaders, fighting for the podium places. Strauss moves to the inside as McCorney 6/10 up on his previous time by the looks of things. So maybe he's looking at a low 1.8 or maybe a 1:07 if he can sneak in. Maybe he's looking at a P4, P5 here. McCorney crosses the line. It is P5 exactly, which might put him in a comfortable enough position and put him through to Q3. Strauss going again then, getting maybe a little bit of a tour here from go again to be sure. The gap to the, to Bowie on the mediums is quite, it's 8/10, but when you're in the position Strauss is in, you can't afford to gamble and be knocked out of Q2 and starting outside the top 10. I'm sure he knows he wants pole position. So let's see then, what has Strauss got? Through sector 2 he goes. Downhill left-hander. Careful of the curbs. 10th up. Strauss is going to set an even quicker time here. As long as the exit's good, it looks good. What's Strauss got then? Is he going to raise the bar even higher here in Q2? Is he going to stretch away from Colt Paradox? And he has! Strauss goes even quicker with a 1.76 and is clear by over 1/10 of a second. What a lap from Strauss. Let's have a look at Bowie then. He himself was messaging me before the stream and said he has had a very consistent year in terms of his race results. He's been up there in the top 2 for most of the season, but he's just dropped down to 3rd because of Strauss. And he's determined to get P2 in the Drivers' Championship. Trying to get that advantage on the medium tyre. This is probably going to be his last attempt on the mediums. What's it going to be for Bowie? He goes quicker, but he's still only P10. I don't think that's quite comfortable enough. I think he's going to have to go out on the softs. Of course, Pheasant Plucker is a man who we know is quick, but he invalidates on the exit there. And we'll have to go again on them soft tyres. It's a shame for him. Doomsray, another one, looking to get into the top 10. He's down on his time though by the looks of it, so yeah, invalidated. So Doomsray and Pheasant Plucker going to have to go again, a bit of pressure on. And I think Bowie may have to go into the pits. If I was him, I'd get into the pits now, get a new set of softs on and accept that you're going to have to start on them tyres. But to be fair, it's not a bad effort. Gautier's done a fantastic job on the mediums though. With that time, there's a chance he could get through on them tyres. Gautier could be on a push lap at the moment. Let's see if he's going any quicker, because these look like fresh mediums. Doomsray's retired in sector 2. And I think, let's see if we can spot what's happened there on JB's onboard. We had a Ferrari out in Q1 in the barriers. We might have had a Ferrari out in Q2 in the barriers. There's Doomsray, and he is out of the session. His car's a wreck, and he is out. So the Ferraris having a bit of a disaster. You have to say, Gautier did invalidate, unfortunately, on his second lap there on the mediums. Interesting to see if he risks going on to softs or not. But yeah, both Ferraris out, crashing out of qualifying. What a disaster for the Scuderia. Of course, they've not had the greatest season at the bottom end of the constructors. Leon really has been pushing, and Wild Dog too in Tier 4, to be fair. Both have been pushing and getting good points for the Ferrari team, but they're going to struggle to get big points today. So then, 2 minutes 40 seconds remaining. Who is going to get into the top 10? You've got to say, Strauss and Colt Paradox, comfortable. I feel like they will feel okay to sit in the pit lane and, you know, sit on them tyres. Both looking inseparable, which is what you want to see. Strauss would like Colt Paradox to be a little bit further off the pace. He does not want him on his back, because Colt Paradox doesn't. He's under no pressure. He just needs to, if he's second, he just needs to follow Colt Paradox from start to finish. He'll win the championship. So it's going to be really interesting to see how it plays out. McConaughey, I think, maybe decided to, yeah, he's going to go now then. McConaughey is going to push on this lap. Let's see if anyone who is at risk. And, well, Gautier looks like he's committing to them medium tyres. He feels like he is quick enough to get through on them tyres. And he's going for it. He's committing. There's no time for him to get into the pit lane and swap onto a set of soft tyres. So this has got to be it for Gautier. Always nice to see someone do something a little bit different though, you know, alternate the strategy a little bit. But I think JB has... Oh, Gautier has a snap and has to catch the car there. He's not going to get round again. He will not have time to get round and set another lap. I think Mazzles, or maybe JB, jumped him. So Gautier down to P9. Is his gamble going to cost him? Yellow flag up ahead. I think it was Rogue just getting out the way. So then, who's at risk? Bowie. He'll need to get himself well into the top 10 if he wants to fight Strauss for P2 in the championship. On the cusp at the moment. 3/10 clear of William. William himself, though, on a lap as well. Here's Pheasant Plucker. I think he's crossing the line. He's on a push lap, and yep, he goes P8. So Pheasant Plucker drops Gautier on the brink of elimination. Bowie could eliminate him here. He looks like he's well up on his time as well. This looks like a good lap from JB Bowie. What's it going to be? Bowie crosses the line, and he goes P2. Safely in. He'll be happy with that. JB, I think, is going for another push lap now. And maybe Mazzles up the Aston Martin. I'll say that for Hedge. Up the Aston Martin. Mazzles maybe on a push lap. He currently is out of Q2 as it stands. Of course, another guy who had a great podium finish. Was it Singapore? I can't quite remember. Mazzles, though, setting a purple sector 2. If that is true, it's not a glitch with the game. Mazzles is looking quite pacey here. And maybe Pheasant Plucker and JB could be at risk of going out. Mazzles crosses line. Mazzles goes P1. What a lap from Mazzles in the Aston Martin. Wow, that is an unbelievable lap. He will be happy. Where's that come from? A 173. Well, that's put the cat amongst the pigeons, hasn't it? What a lap from Mazzles. And suddenly Donacio, man, he's retired from the session. McCorney, he feels comfortable. What could be at risk? Jay Hartnell, I don't think he's going to put another lap in heat. Might be safe in P8. JB has to improve. Here he comes crossing the line. JB, 179. That's not good enough. Pheasant Plucker in the pits. Gautier in the pits. I think that is qualifying 2 over with in the can. And it looks like McCorney and Donacio Man will be safe. Don't think Jay Hartnell crossed the line in time. But, wow, Mazzles out of nowhere, setting the quickest time in Q2. That'll make the rest of the guys stand up and think, wow, okay, a 173. Mazzles then sets the pace in Q2. Everyone opting to start on the soft tyres, so no alternate strategies in the top 10. Strauss second, Bowie third, Colt Paradox fourth. The top 3 all side by side in that session. That is incredible. Rogue is also in to Q3, as is Craigo, William, Jay Hartnell, McCorney and Donacio Man. Missing out then are the 2 Alfa Romeo boys, JB and Pheasant Plucker. Not by much as well, only out by less than a tenth. Gautier a little bit further back. Of course, he tried to get through on the medium tyres Doomsray. Unfortunately, crashed out for the Ferrari. So there we go then. Q2 is done. And now we'll see who is going to fight for pole position. A huge pole position around Interlagos. But what a qualifying session it's been. Leon is in the comments. Hello, Leon. I'm gutted for you, mate. What happened? What happened? I'm sure you can fight back in the race. I'm sure you've got the pace to get back up there. Don't you worry, mate. Don't you worry. Yeah, Mazzle's getting a lot of praise in the chat, in the Discord. He doesn't even know where that lap came from. Mazzles, I didn't know where that lap came from. What a lap it was. That's what I mean. It just takes one hell of a lap. Somebody sticks it on pole, and when the championship leaders are fighting in the pack, it could cause any kind of incidents. But here we go then. Top 10 shootout it is. Strategies out the window. It's all about who is the quickest. Man on track. And there's a man who will be desperate to get himself on pole, and especially ahead of Colt Paradox. That will be his main goal. If he's not on pole, he'll still want to be ahead of Colt Paradox. Good evening, Monica. Thank you for joining us. Let's see who's going to be first to set a lap then. I think it is Craigo, who is out on track first for the Williams. Craigo, I believe, set the quickest time in Q1. But anyone could have pole here. I mean, Craigo showed good pace. Colt Paradox was up there in Q1, as was Strauss, who we know can pull a lap out. Rogue is also capable. Mazzles has thrown himself into contention now as well. You can't rule out Bowie. You can't rule out McCorney. Donacho Man showing his pace as well. I mean, it's anybody's pole position. I really could not call it at this moment in time. But here comes Craigo then. Keeps it nicely within track limits. That looked like a pretty good exit through sector 2 then. Try and keep it as tight to the double right as you can. It's always easy to run a little bit wide there on the outside curve and the inside curve as well. I find the curbs are so flat around Brazil. It's so easy to accidentally just run over them. It's easy to run wide and catch the grass on the entry of that corner as well. Oh, Craigo gets a little bit wide there on the exit. But it's been a clean lap, this one. And we'll see what the benchmark is going to be for Craigo. 82. Keeping it nice and tight to the inside. Minimise the gap to the line. He knows exactly how to get them precious few tenths. And Craigo goes quickest with a 1.79. Strauss then is next. What's it going to be for Strauss? A 1.76 for him. So Strauss goes P1 at the moment. Jay Hartner looks to be starting his lap. Rogue Flash goes second with a 1.77. And is this Colt Paradox crossing the line? Only a 1.8 flat from Colt Paradox, though. That's a disappointing lap. And Mazzles once again from absolutely nowhere going quickest with a 1.76. William, I think, invalidated as he gets out the way of the Haas coming in behind. As McCorney is also now on a lap as well. But Mazzles, where's this come from, Mazzles? This is incredible. Incredible pace. Doing Hedge proud in the Aston Martin. So let's stick with McCorney then and see what he's got in the back of that Haas. Colt Paradox will be a little bit disappointed though with that lap. You know, he 4 tenths off Strauss, or just over 3 tenths, so he'll be a little bit worried about that. He will have another set of tyres, I assume, to go again. Might even try and put another banker in on them same softs. He may as well. There's McCorney then. Love that camera angle. Get to see how close the drivers are to the track limits. Interesting to see some drivers staying tight to the pit entry there. Some others running wide. McCorney, though, crosses the line. 1.79 puts him only in P5. There's William, and he's invalidated again, I believe. It's so easy to do around this track, as I say. Craigo may have been going again. He's invalidated as well. And is Colt Paradox going again? I don't think he is. I think he might be on a... Is he on a cool down lap? Wonder if he's going to just get rid of these tyres. He might have actually put a second lap in. I think he has, yeah. Colt Paradox has put a second lap in, but it's only a 1.79. It's still the slowest lap so far this session. So I think it's safe to say them tyres are done for. You'll have to get off them, put on a new set. Here's William then in the McLaren. Had a few invalidations thus far. This has been a clean lap though. Just got to deal with that final exit and it looks good. What's William got left in them softs? Takes a lot of the pit entry there. Another one who's trying to minimise the gap to the line, but it's only a 1.8 flat for William. Only P7 for him. That's what can happen with these tyres. Just run out of life. Craigo may have been going again, but he's invalidated as well. So Mazzles at the moment putting that gorgeous Aston Martin on pole position. Mazzles is in the chat, so he is with us tonight. The legend himself is in the comments. Give him some love tonight. I know he's gutted that he's missing commentating on this race. Apologies, I can't make it tonight, but you'll absolutely smash it. Thank you very much, my friend. I'm doing my best. I can never quite do a hedge, but I'm doing my best. You'll be happy to see Mazzles in the position in pole at the moment. Strauss may have gone a little bit quicker. I might have missed a second lap from Strauss there. He's narrowed the gap to Mazzles, but still only P2, 0.004 of a second separate them. So the times are very close once again. Jay Hartnell looking to get that Mercedes further up the grid. William is going in the pits. Here is Jay Hartnell. Is Bowie on a lap here? I think he might be. Let's have a see. Let's see what Bowie's got as he crosses the line. Another man who could get pole position. And Bowie does go quickest with a 1:75.99. What a lap from Bowie. He means business tonight. And he takes provisional pole. Jay Hartnell then, he crosses the line. And he goes pole as well. Wow, pole position keeps changing. The track's getting quicker. The drivers are getting quicker. And Jay Hartnell puts his Mercedes on pole with a 1:75. Wow. This could be anybody's pole position. I couldn't call it. I could not possibly call whose pole position this is going to be. But Jay Hartnell, another one, may not have thought he was the fastest driver with the 2 sessions we've had. He puts it on pole out of nowhere. Mazzles has come from nowhere. I don't know who's going to get this pole position. Let me know in the comments who you think is going to get it. Normally I'd have someone I fancied, but honestly, I have no idea. Absolutely no idea. This is going to be a crazy end to qualifying. Let's see if Bowie's going again. I think he is. So yeah, Bowie going again on them soft tyres. And I think Strauss could be pushing here. It said he had a purple sector 2. So maybe Strauss is on a push lap. We'll soon find out once he crosses the line. Can Strauss steal pole position back once again? It keeps changing, and he does. Strauss goes quickest with a 1:73. He's back on the front row. My God, this is absolutely crazy. Donacho Man just starting his lap now. His first lap, hoping to get a time on the board. Let's jump into middle sector then. I think Rogue's on an out lap at the moment. Colt Paradox also on an out lap. It's going to be really interesting to see where he puts his Red Bull. Bit of pressure on Colt Paradox now, you have to say. Let's stay on board with the championship leader. This could be a huge lap for Colt Paradox. McLaren, I think it was as Bowie goes quickest once again. Bowie now has pole position. 1:72. It just keeps on changing, and they were 3-lap-old tyres as well from Bowie. So fair play to him. Let's see if Jay Hartnell crosses the line. Goes a little bit quicker, but can't quite get past Strauss, who is on the front row. As it stands, I think McCorney is crossing the line. He goes 6th with a 1:78. It's so difficult to keep up with these times. Drivers are really, really pushing it. Let's jump back to Colt Paradox and see how he's getting on as he's in Sector 2. Down the hill, keeping it clean. 3/10 up, that's a good sign. Do have a Mercedes off in the middle sector, I think. Strauss is happy to settle with P2. He's happy. He's not going again. Colt Paradox, though, where's he going to put himself? Is he going to be challenging Strauss on the front row? He isn't. He's only P4. Strauss will be starting directly ahead of Colt Paradox on the grid. As Jay Hartnell's off again. I need to stop jumping to him. He's off track for the 3rd time. That Mercedes in the grass, and surely that is qualifying over for him. Craigo then, he's coming down towards the line. It's only a 1:9 though. Maybe that was an outlap. Maybe he's going to push to go one more time. Nacho Man in the pit lane. So a lot of these guys now going into pits will not get another chance to set a quicker lap. Mazzles, though, is going for pole position. He's come from absolutely nowhere. So let's see what this is all about. Let's watch on board and see where on earth this has come from. From Mazzles, representing the Aston Martin, of course. My team, Hedges' team. Down on his time currently, though, is Mazzles as he gets very close to the track limits. Loses the back end a little bit there. I think he's going to lose more time. He might need a very good Sector 3. Colt Paradox has settled on P4, so the top three in the championship all retired out the session. McCorney as well. Let's see where Mazzles' delta is going in to Sector 3 then. Is he up on his time? Is he down on his time? Is he going to challenge for pole? No, he's 8/10 down. I think that's Mazzles' challenge over and done with. William is coming out, but I don't think we'll have time to set a lap, so not too sure if he has just come out the pit lane there. But I think Rogue Flash is going again. So he's around level with his time currently, but he's only 400ths off of pole position. Can Rogue Flash get pole off of Bowie and drop Strauss down into the second row? No, it looks like he's backed off 2 seconds down on his delta. That could be it then. Don't believe William crossed the line. I think that is it. I think qualifying is done. And it looks like Jay Bowie, the man who said he's going to fight Strauss for P2 tonight, he's ahead of him on the front row. That's going to be tasty going into turn 1. Rogue Flash looks like he is going to be on the second row alongside the championship leader Colt Paradox. Jay Hartnell is 5th with Mazzles 6th. William will be starting in P7 with McCorney 8th. Nacho Man 9th. Craigo, I don't believe, got across the line in time. He will be starting in P10. So there we go then. Strauss has done his job, but Colt Paradox is right behind him. So I'd say Colt Paradox has done a good job there. He didn't have to get pole, so I think he'll be happy with that as qualifying comes to an end. Imagine if Bowie never got spun, man, it would be winning maybe. Well, exactly. I feel bad for Bowie, you know, he had a spin in Singapore when he was near the front and had connection issues as well in recent races. But there we go then. That is classification of Jay Bowie on pole by 200ths of a second. Unbelievably close. The top three separated by 300ths, which is insane. Colt Paradox 4th, a 10th and a half off, just ahead of Jay Hartnell, as we mentioned. Mazzles couldn't quite replicate his form in Q2. He's P6, as we say. William, McCorney, Nacho Man and Craigo are rounding off the rest of the top 10. Nathan in the comments, good luck, Matt. Thank you very much to Nathan, the admin. I do a lot of commentary on my own gaming channel anyway, so commentary is not second. It's second nature to me, really, because I do a lot of that on my own channel, but it's always a bit of pressure taking the reins of the main commentary position. So let's just hope that we get all the players and all the drivers in, and we get on the grid and get lined up ready to go without any issues. I know we've had a few issues in past races where we've had to restart lobbies, etc. So fingers crossed we have no technical issues. Doesn't seem like anyone's had any problems tonight, so we should be able to get everyone ready to go quite easily. And I'll be back once we start the formation lap. Here we go then. All drivers on the formation lap, ready to go. Let's have a look to see the starting tyres then. What are the guys outside the top 10 looking in terms of their strategy? So, mostly soft tyres. Leon opting for the mediums, Statistic King as well. Jacko also mediums, but I'm surprised that a lot of the majority of the field have opted for the soft tyres. So it is going to be a straight fight. Obviously, the soft for the top 10 guys will be a little bit more worn. So, you know, JB, Pheasant Pluckham, Gautier maybe in with a little bit of a chance. Off the line, possibly. Maybe in the opening stages, but yeah, this is it. Big race for the championship protagonists. One final look at the current scenario before we start. So, Colt Paradox needs a top 11 finish, and he's champion no matter what. Strauss needs to win the race, and Colt Paradox to finish 12th or lower to be champion with the fastest lap, of course. But if Strauss does win the race, Colt Paradox finishes P13, Strauss will steal the championship. Bottom line is, Colt Paradox needs P12. And he's finished in P12 in every race he's finished this season. He has been at least P12. He's actually been in the top 10. So, we'll see if that is the case around Brazil. Bowie looks like he's getting on the grid a lot earlier. Strauss backing the pack up a little bit behind. Here we go, this is it then, this is it, the final race of the Tier 3 Corn Racing League Championship. Colt Paradox and Strauss fighting for the championship. Strauss on the front row, Colt Paradox directly behind him on the grid. Here we go then, on the grid, 5 red lights. And we are underway for the final race of Season 5 in the Corn Racing League Tier 3 Championship. Strauss going down the inside of Colt of JB. Bowie, who tries to fight him on the exit, but Strauss is through. And it looks like we've had a relatively clean Bowie. That's not what Bowie wants in terms of the championship. And in terms of his fight with Strauss in P2, of course. But he is through into the lead. And Strauss will look to stretch that lead. Colt Paradox remaining in his position without issue, which is good for him. Christoph going wheel to wheel towards the back with Dimas into Sector 2. Has to concede that position. And it looks like Dimas having another little look around the outside of JB, but cannot get through and has to settle for P15. It's absolute chaos trying to keep up with the action when you haven't got a Corcom. Now I know how important my job is when I'm alongside Hedge. But anyway, Strauss out front leading by 0.6 of a second. He leads Bowie, who leads Rogue, who leads Colt Paradox. As Dimas and Christoph look like they're having another little on-track battle there. As I think Christoph has gotten back past Dimas. Don't know if Dimas will have an actually Dragon on Speed has slipped down the inside of Dimas and defends the position into turn 4. As, oh, it looks like the Williams. Has he gone wide there, Dimas? I think he has gone off track and he's now under pressure from Leon, who's had a little bit of a bad start himself. Leon round the outside. Can Dimas get back the position? Not quite. Leon round the outside. And he's up to P17. Let's keep an eye on Leon's pace throughout this race. It's, of course, starting on the mediums, the alternate strategy. So, yeah, he will be at risk to the drivers around him at the start of this race, but the race will come back to him. Dimas having another little look at him. But, yeah, has to back off as we will enter lap 3 when DRS will be enabled. It looks like the top 2 just starting to pull away from Rogue and Colt Paradox. The second did seem to be separating them, but Bowie, I don't know if he's had a good first couple of corners there. As Rogue Flash is within half a second But Colt Paradox can chill. He can chill. He just needs to make sure he can stay in this position, make 0 mistakes. And Strauss can be 50 seconds, he can be a minute, he can even lap Colt Paradox. It will not matter at this stage. But Colt Paradox is looking quite racy and is looking at potentially getting past Rogue Flash, as the top 4 have just sort of come back together a little bit actually. In the last lap, it looked like they'd pulled away from each other, but are closing in a little bit. Let's see what Bowie's got then down the straight. Not too far behind Strauss. He's already used a lot of his battery though, Bowie. He's down to 27%, rinsing his battery as Strauss easing away without ERS. Bowie though is gaining on him here. Is J Bowie going to make a move? Bowie around the outside of Strauss, tries the cut back, but Strauss places his car in the perfect place to keep the lead and maintain P1. Bowie's connection, I think, just jumping a little bit all over the place there, but he has to stay behind Strauss for the time being. We've got a spinner towards the back. JB looks like he is off track. He is backwards at the pit exit. Not too sure what has happened there, and he's lost his entire front wing as well. So JB not having a good race weekend at all. Don't know if it was a contact or lost a bit of his front wing by spinning it on a curb maybe, but he's now got a very long trip back to the pit lane, as once again Dimas in another great battle, this time with Dragon on Speed, who goes down the inside. Dimas holding position just about, as Leon also looking to get in on this battle for the final points position, of course, P15. But Dimas looks like he has held off Dragon on Speed. Leon having to just settle in P17 at the moment, and he's going to need his patience in this race, Leon. He needs to just keep good pace, stay in the DRS, and hope that the race does come back to him later on. As Pheasant Plucker looks like he's fighting through the S's with Doomsray. That looked a little bit close, maybe a bit of contact between the two. Pheasant Plucker does have DRS down into turn 4, and Craigo as well defending from Doomsray. In fact, did Craigo get past Doomsray there? Not too sure, as Leon looks like he's making a move down the inside of Dimas, pushing him off to the right hand side. Is Dimas going to try and get back at Leon? Round the outside. That's a brave place to try and get the move done. Well, he runs out of room for him as Doomsray is off the track. He was in a battle that we saw a little bit earlier in the lap, and Doomsray, maybe he's had a bit of contact. He's off track and has dropped to the back of the grid, barring JB, of course, who's in the pit lane getting a new front wing. So plenty of battles in the midfield, as Rogue Flash maybe looking at JB Bowie. The P2 here, as the top 3 are getting very, very close. Bowie looking for a move on Colt Paradox for the race lead here. Bowie down the inside of Strauss, and he gets the move done. Bowie's connection seems to be lagging out a bit, as he looked like he was ghosting with Strauss a little bit there, but Strauss looks like, with the assistance of the DRS, is back through into turn 4. That's going to be a really juicy battle, as William is dropping back. He's also had an incident through the S's. Doesn't look like he's got too much damage. Maybe it was just a spin for him. As you can see, there is Doomsray having to sit and wait in the pit lane. But what a battle we've got out front here. Bowie's connection, again, he seems to be lagging all over the place at the moment. Hopefully that doesn't affect him. We have seen Bowie struggling with connection issues in the van. It looks, I thought he'd gone wide there, but he keeps jolting a little bit closer to Rogue Flash, who's going to have to be very careful to overtake Bowie with his connection as it is at the moment. Fingers crossed Bowie can stay in the race and won't have to retire because of that connection problem, but he still stays behind Strauss, as Pheasant Plucker looks like he's got the move done on Donacho Man. Into turn 1, will Donacho Man get the move back here on Pheasant Plucker down towards turn 4? Pheasant Plucker does have DRS assistance down into turn 4, and looks like he will keep the position up, as Gautier now looking at Craigo. Craigo defending aggressively at the inside. It's really close racing between the two of them. Craigo goes wide, Gautier is through, but this battle will continue through the double right-hander as Craigo. Is he going to go down the inside? Oh, there's contact. Craigo catches the rear of Gautier and has spun. I don't think he's got damage, but that you could just see as that move was happening. You could just see Craigo, if he left his nose in, he were going to make contact. And unfortunately for Craigo, who looked so good in quali, almost loses his car again there as the tyres are clearly overheating a little bit. Craigo now will have a tough task on his hand. There you can see them softs really, really struggling. He's having to really slow down to cool the tyres. But yeah, that was a battle that you could just see from a mile off was going to end in tears. Leon finally starting to make progress on their medium tyres, getting past Dragon on speed easily into turn 1. This is where we might start to see Leon's pace on them tyres. Softs maybe last 13 laps possibly. If you can stretch them to 15, you'll comfortably be able, I think, to get onto the medium tyres. Of course, the soft hard is what the game suggests, I believe. But yeah, you do want to preferably go on the soft mediums if you can. William with the first penalty of the race. That was exceeding track limits, I believe. As Craigo goes on to the hard tyres. So Craigo looking to get his pit stop over and done with early, assuming he will be going to the end. Back to the battle out front then. Actually, we'll stick with Leon because he looks like he's getting a little bit close to the Aston Martin here of Christoph. And Christoph is absolutely defenceless. 3 seconds adrift from the nearest car as Jay Hartnell's in the pit lane. Bowie also in the pit lane. So a few guys stopping earlier than I maybe thought off them soft tyres. Leon thinks about a move on Christoph, but he places his car perfectly as Bowie has jumped on to their medium tyres quite early. Don't think it was a pit stop for new front wing or anything like that. I think he has just gone early. And, well, what's that? 27 laps on them tyres. Can he go to the end on them mediums? Is Bowie going for the 2-stop, I wonder? Here's Leon, though. Oh, I thought he was going to go for the same move that Craigo did, and I thought we might have had a similar outcome, but Leon backing out of it. That was the right thing to do. But he is pushing that Aston Martin. As there's been an incident on the start-finish straight, I think it's in the S's. I think Craigo had another spin there on the hard tyres. Maybe struggling to get them tyres up to temperature. Mazzles, though, is he going to have a look at Rogue Flash? No, he doesn't at the last second. Mazzles does the opposite of whatever Rogue Flash does there. Made a last gas dart out of the pits as Leon now looking to get the move done on the Aston Martin. Christoph trying to defend at the inside. Is he going to get the move done? Leon round the outside. The move's not done yet. What a battle. This is contact between them. Leon maybe pushed off track on the exit there. Comes back on. And Christoph is back ahead of Leon as Dragon on speed. Looks like he's getting in on the action. Christoph defending for his life. Leon almost hits the back of the Aston Martin. Now he's going around the outside of the Red Bull. Leon's not going to go for the same move. Is he down the inside? Luckily, Dragon on speed backs out of it and avoids any kind of collision. It's all kicking off as William looks like he's retired with an incident. Are we going to get a safety car? Let's see if we can just catch this. I think it's on board with the Alpha. Just missed it there. We'll have to. I don't think we're going to quite get the incident. William looks like he's retired with an incident there, but no safety car, no yellow flags. So the steward's feeling comfortable that that car can be cleared. Thought we might have had a safety car there. That would have spiced things up, wouldn't it? Christoph, though, proving to be a bit of a roadblock at the moment as Leon goes round the outside. Christoph again trying to hold it in the inside that time, though he's not going to be able to do it. Leon gets the move done, but Dragon on speed looks like he's going to pounce on the two of them. He might get Leon down into turn 4. Leon looks like he's going to sacrifice that move. Christoph now having to defend at the inside, going down the inside of Leon there as he tries to battle back. And Dimas also at the back of this battle, with Mazzles now getting a 3-second penalty. So Mazzles and Pheasant Plucker Two cars currently towards the front with penalties. Is that going to cost them towards the end of this race? Take a breath as Dimas looking, oh, maybe go down the inside there. Christoph shuts the door quite quickly, but he is dropping back as this is going to be a good, well, Christoph goes wide here, goes through the back, one of the brake boards as well. Pheasant Plucker looks like he, what's happened there? Christoph has just drove off track. I don't quite know what's happened there. Maybe he lost the car a little bit as yeah, that screwed up the interval screen a little bit. Mazel's in for his pit stop. I think he might have, has he served his penalty in the pit stop? I'm not too sure. I don't think he will if it's a corner cutting penalty. So Mazel's going a bit longer on them softs. And we'll be going maybe to the end on them mediums. We'll have to see. But yeah, Mazel's filters back just in front of Jay Hartnell. And he is in 13th on another set of soft Mazels. So he's going for the aggressive two-stop strategy by the looks of things. So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Elsewhere then, let's see what's happening in the midfield. Dimas looking at the back of Sadistic King. Dimas on them softs now for 11 laps. You'd think Sadistic King would have better tyres than the Williams. And it looks like that might... Even then, Dimas is closing in here. Is he going to be able to get close enough to make a move? Not quite. Sadistic King just about does enough, as I think Bowie has just got past Jacko, who I think swapped places with him there. Maybe a strategic swap between the Alpha Tauri drivers. Dragon on speed though, defenceless, as Sadistic King is deploying all of his ERS. Down the inside he goes. What a brave move that is on the medium tyres. And it looks like Sadistic King has made a lovely clean move on Dragon on speed, who's on 12 lap old softs. Is Dragon on speed going to have the grip to do anything in response? And the answer is no. Sadistic King, you'd think now, has that position in the bag. So then, a quick look back at the championship and the situation currently. So it looks like whatever Strauss does, Colt Paradox is going to follow his strategy. Both of them still on them soft tyres that they started the race on. But Colt Paradox will be more than happy at the moment. He's keeping his cool and he is staying in touching distance of Strauss. He's keeping it clean. He's having no issues and he is happy in that position. It looks like we've had a yellow flag in Sector 2. I believe it's a Aston Martin. It's a safety car. Christoph has retired in Sector 2. Let's see if we can find out what this was with Strauss's onboard. Can we spot the Aston Martin that has retired? There he is, Christoph in the wall. And that is a safety car, which, well, whose hands will it play into? You'd think Bowie, who's pitted onto them mediums, is he going to lose out? He is quite far back, so a free pit stop for everyone in front of him. So Bowie might lose out, having just made his pit stop. Everybody who's just made their pit stop will lose out. And it's going to be interesting now to see what the guys on the soft do. I think it's perfect for the guys on the soft. They can get on the mediums and comfortably take them to the end. You've got to feel for the likes of Leon and Sadistic King on the mediums, because it's too early for them to go onto the soft tyres. So are they going to go on the hards possibly? I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure if they are going to have to go onto the hards or they're just going to have to go on. And let's see what Sadistic King does. He continues on. Leon pits though. So is Leon going to commit to a two-stop, or is he going to go to the hard tyres to the end? He's going to be at a disadvantage because the top guys have all went on their mediums. And yeah, it looks like Leon has gone onto the soft tyres. So as it stands, I think the guys starting on the softs will benefit from that, as they were able to get that pit stop out the way. Perfect timing, of course, for them to make that stop. And Sadistic King, Jacko seem like the only two who've stayed out on them medium tyres. It was an awkward time for the medium runners. for that safety car. You don't really want to go on the hards because you're just putting yourself at a real disadvantage with the tyres, and the hards aren't good around Brazil. I can promise you that. So, yeah, Leon committing to the two-stop. Mazel's also had just put a pair of soft tyres on, so he's committing to the two-stop as well. So they're going to have to get ahead of these guys and pit again, and also maybe hope for another safety car. We'll have to wait and see. So then, as it stands, 3 drivers out the race. Nacho Man, Christoph, as we saw, put his Aston Martin in the barriers. I think William also with a DNF. Don't know if we caught the Nacho Man's retirement. Don't know if I missed that one, but he obviously must have went onto the hards early and maybe had an incident with the hard tyres. Like I say, they are very difficult to get up to temperature around this track. They just generally feel awful, and they're just not a good race tyre around Brazil. You want to avoid them if you can. So Strauss leads under the safety car. I think he led under safety car around Russia as well, and he really caught the entire field completely off guard and went super early at Russia. So it'll be interesting to see what he does here with Brazil being such a long straight. Really, it kind of starts from the end of sector, you know, that DRS detection zone. It kind of starts from there, and it's just a really flat out long run down to turn 1. So I'd say Strauss is best leaving this as late as he can, because the slipstream is quite powerful down that straight. Sadistic King, we saw him do it a couple of races back. I'm trying to remember back to, what was it, Bahrain, when he did that crazy one-stop by staying out, taking advantage of the safety cars. It worked for him that day. He got himself the win. He's up to P2, but is on far more worn medium tyres. Bowie, of course, decided to go really early, which, you know, has put him on older tyres, but he has got good track position. The safety car in this lap, though. That's a late call from the safety car. Let's see what Strauss does then. Is he going to leave it late? Is he going to bolt early like he did in Russia? By the looks of it, it looks like Strauss is going to leave this one all the way to the line, not giving any of the guys behind him a chance. On board with Sadistic King. Let's see when Strauss goes. JB looks like he's overtaken Craig. Oh, there as Strauss times his safety car restart brilliantly there. And I think he's gotten away cleanly. That was exactly how you want to execute it. As he looks back and goes, oh, there's a big spin. Pheasant Plucker has spun it into the S's. I don't know if there was contact, but there's a big incident. Dragon on Speed is also off, and it looks like he's lost maybe a bit of his front wing. No, he looks fine. I think Pheasant Plucker also looks okay, as there is battles going in to turn 4. Up ahead, Leon on them fresh softs down the inside of the Haas, fighting Gautier, who is on the outside. Is Gautier now on the inside, going to try and stick his nose in? No, he backs out at the last second. That's the sensible thing to do, avoiding an incident there. Not sure what happened into the S's, if there was contact or maybe one of the drivers didn't quite have the tyres up to temperature and span. Obviously you do need to get your tyres in good condition when you're going through them S's. But yeah, a couple of casualties on the safety car restart though. One man who wasn't a casualty was Strauss. He's pulled out a 1.5 second gap to Sadistic King. That's the fresh mediums for you, working a treat for the McLaren driver. Mazel's now looking to make a move on the AlphaTauri of Jacko. Catches the grass, I think, a little bit as he looks to try and get the slingshot through the S section. Can Mazel's, with them fresh soft tyres, make the difference with Jacko, who's on 17 lap old mediums? Jacko looks like he dipped a tyre in the grass there, but he holds on to the position as Bowie seems like he's just gotten past Sadistic King. An important move for the AlphaTauri driver, who needs to, of course, beat Strauss if he wants to get second in the championship. And Sadistic King on them old mediums will be a bit of a roadblock at the moment. Colt Paradox already looking at the back of Sadistic King. As Leon's made a move, there seems to have been a yellow flag as a Mercedes looks like it's off, and Jay Hartnell, every time I cut to him, he's had an incident. That's the 5th one, I think. And Jay Hartnell has lost his front wing by the looks of it, and is going to be in trouble now for the rest of this lap before he gets back to the pit lane. He's got to get that front wing changed, as it looks like there's been another move on the start-finish straight here. Jacko looks like he is going to lose out to Mazzles this time. Mazzles gets the move done before the end of the start-finish straight. McCorney looks like he's retired. What's happened there? McCorney on the start-finish straight. And there's another safety car. A second safety car. As it looks like McCorney has had an incident. The car has disappeared, so we can't quite see what happened. Maybe it was a spinner. I'm not too sure. This helps Jay Hartnell get his pit stop done onto the hard tyres to catch back up to the pack. But Jay Hartnell, he keeps his front wing. McCorney, not so lucky. He is out. Not too sure what happened there. But that is 4 retirements, and a lot of them have been on track. So then, safety car number 2, and we're only halfway through this Grand Prix. I don't know if it'll make much difference to the strategy. I think, you know, still very much it's worth these guys staying on the medium tyres. If anything, I think this safety car period will help them get them mediums to the end. Statistic King, though, is using this opportunity to get off them used mediums. He was getting sucked up by the rest of the pack there, to be fair. So he's choosing to get a fresh set of tyres on. Mazzles also going for them fresh mediums. They may as well. You know, these guys are going to have to make a pit stop at some point, and they were going to lose so much track position. So doing it under the safety car makes perfect sense. Interesting choice of tyres, though. So, Sadistic King, has he pulled off another masterstroke of a strategy here? 16 laps left of this race. Now, from what I understood on Monday night with the Tier 4 race, you could stretch the softs 15 laps if you wanted to. They did drop off big time at the end, but I believe Mark Wilson, who was ahead of me in that race, did get his mediums from around lap 20 to the end. So that could be a genius move from Sadistic King there. You know, he's only 6th. Pheasant Plucker and Gautier all have penalties. So could Sadistic King fight his way back to the front of this race with them fresh softs? I think that could be a really, really clever decision by the Alpine driver. As long as he can make them tyres last, because the safety car's going to go around for one more lap, I'd say. And the same could be said for Jacko. He's got a penalty as well. Let's just have a little update on the penalties. So Pheasant Plucker is going to suffer 8 seconds, which will drop him quite far back. Gautier 3 seconds isn't too bad. Mazzle, same for him. Jacko will need them soft tyres because he does also have a 3-second penalty. Jay Hartnell into the pit lane. Maybe he's changed his mind and doesn't like the feel of them hard tyres. Goes on the mediums. If I was Jay, I'd have stuck a set of softs on there with the position he's in. I'd have stuck a set of softs on. Why not? He's got nothing to lose. So, safety car number 2 is done. Strauss will lead the pack away once again. Is he going to do the same as what he did last time? I don't see why not. It worked a treat for him last time out. We have the top 3 in the championship as the top 3 once again in this race. Strauss from Bowie from Colt Paradox. Imagine if these 3 were still all fighting for the championship as a 3-way like they were a couple of races back. It would have been absolutely amazing to see. But anyway, all that matters is as it stands, Strauss would beat Bowie to 2nd, but would not win the championship. Colt Paradox has been consistent. He's been solid. He's not made a single mistake. If he keeps things as they are, I don't see why not. A reason why not he would not win the Drivers' Championship today. So then, here we go again. Strauss backing the pack right up. This time it's Bowie who is on his heels. Mediums are a little bit older, but I'm sure Bowie will be taking these to the end unless there's a late safety car. Strauss waiting and waiting. He's going to leave it all the way to the line. I think he's left it even later this time. And he's gone. Strauss has decided to go, and Colt Paradox looks like he's got the jump on Bowie. Look at this, down into turn one we go. There's two Hasses down the inside of Colt Paradox. It's a Hass and I think it's a Hass and an Alfa Romeo. Colt Paradox hanging onto position. Pheasant Plucker down is inside. Bowie's hung on to P2, and it looks like Colt Paradox has dropped back. What's happened there? Rogue Flash has retired from the session. Colt Paradox has dropped down to P6 as Gautier and Sadistic King go wheel to wheel. What a start Sadistic King has had. He could be up to P4 here. Gautier going wheel to wheel with Sadistic King. Backs out again. Contact as Gautier is off. He catches Colt Paradox as well, and he's off the track. Gautier is off. Mazzles has also retired. What has happened to Mazzles? We've got yellow flags again. Mazzles was in the wall, and is in another safety car. I don't think it is. I think the action is going to continue, but we've got cars dropping like flies. This is incredible. I don't know if Colt Paradox just backed out of the carnage through the S's there just to keep his nose clean. It was a good decision because he's still in a good position, but here comes Sadistic King. We said keep an eye on him with them fresh soft tyres, and he's down the inside of Pheasant Plucker with ease and up to P3. We said it could be a genius move, and Sadistic King absolutely flying at this moment in time, as is Jacko. Leon though keeping him honest in P7, dragging on speed, maybe looking at a move round the outside of Leon, not quite. As well, look at the exit that Dragon on Speed's gotten here. He's having to go off track though, as Leon very much keeping the door shut. As we've got a yellow flag again in Sector 2. JB looks like he's put his car out the race as well. As we have a VSC. JB has crashed off the circuit. I think it's on the exit of Turn 4. And we have... Oh my god, I need Hedge. I need Hedge with me. I can't keep up with this action. Another crash. Another retirement. And another safety car. Once again. What is going on in this race? Oh my god. I need a chance to breathe. And, well, Bowie's in the pits. Bowie is in. This is a risk from Bowie. Is he going to give up on the mediums? Is he going to go for the softs and try and rally his way back? I don't know. Does he have damage? Because he's going to drop all the way to the back of the field here. No damage for Bowie, but he's sacrificing track position to go on them softs. So it's a risk from Bowie. But he feels like on the restart with what might be maybe 10, 11 laps to go, he feels like he can really go for it on them softs. And maybe find his way back through the pack. Of course, we've seen it work for a lot of the guys on the soft. Sadistic King being the big winner from that restart. But, well, we've lost another round of cars on that restart. JB lost it on the exit of Turn 4. Mazzles lost it in Sector 2. Rogue Flash also crashing out of the race too. And we also, I think we saw Gautier catching his car before getting caught by Colt Paradox. Nothing in that, I don't think. I think as he was trying to catch the car, he just sort of steered in the way of Colt Paradox and kept it in the barriers. But as that was all happening, Mazzles retired. JB then retired. I mean, at least whoever finishes last is guaranteed a point. And this is something interesting. Scenario-wise, Colt Paradox needs to finish in the top 11. At the minute, there's only 13 runners. So, at this stage, Colt Paradox, he really just needs to finish the race. Strauss, of course, looks like he will win the race if it stays as it is. Sadistic King might have something to say about that, though. So, yeah, Strauss needs to win the race. It's as simple as that. You have to say that it's very much in Colt Paradox's favour at the moment, because Strauss needs to win the race, and he's going to do well to win the race with Sadistic King behind him. Colt Paradox needs P12 at least, and at the moment he'd need to just finish the race pretty much, unless he was dead last. So yeah, it swung in the way of the Red Bull driver, but anything can happen. As we've seen, we've had 3 safety cars. God, I need Hedge. I don't know how anyone can comment. There's so much action to follow. I'm absolutely breathless. It's been an unbelievable race so far. And we are about to get going once again. Well, you think he'd be pretty used to this routine by now. Strauss will be leading them away for what, the third, fourth time in this race? This time he has Sadistic King behind him on them fresh softs. He's going to be looking really good. This safety car has allowed him to let them soft tyres breathe. It'll help him get them to the end, so it's very much played into Sadistic King's favour. But throughout this entire race, Colt Paradox has been there. He's had Strauss within his sights from the very beginning, and he's not letting him get away. Strauss goes earlier this time. Is that going to work out for him? It looks like Dragon on Speed's already got the jump on Jay Hartnell and Gautier. As there's been a spin once again, it looks like we've got a Pheasant Plucker's retired off the restart. I don't believe it. We've lost another car. Pheasant Plucker is out off the restart of the race, as Strauss now trying to defend from Sadistic King, who's looking for a move around the outside, but Strauss places his car in the perfect position, but will be under pressure all the way up through Sector 2. The grip on them tyres the Sadistic King will have are going to be absolutely superior. Doomsray is now out the race as well, as we have a Red Bull off track. Dragon on Speed's gone off, and Doomsray has also crashed out. Cars keep falling at Sector 2, Turn 4. We're not going to get another safety car. I think we are. I think we might get another safety car. This is absolutely crazy. We've lost another car at the back. Doomsray is out the race, and Strauss, who has the chances right up against him now, he needs a miracle at this stage. He might be about to lose the race lead as well, as Sadistic King goes round the outside of Strauss, who holds it on the inside. He's fighting for his championship here, as Sadistic King tries to go down the inside. Can't quite get the move done, but is still there. ERS deployed. DRS assistance round the outside. Has Strauss got any answer? He tries to hold it down the inside. It's like Verstappen v Hamilton. Strauss not letting the position go. He's fighting for his only hope of the championship, and he somehow keeps Sadistic King behind him in P2, and that's what he's got to do, because Colt Paradox needs to finish in 11th, and there are 11 runners on track. All Colt Paradox needs to do is finish the race, and he is champion. It's as simple as that. I have never seen so many retirements in one race. It's been absolutely crazy. And talking of Colt Paradox, he could be in a bit of trouble here. Jacko on them fresh tyres, of course, in the Alpha Tauri, looking to make a move down the inside of Colt Paradox. Can't quite get the move done. Meanwhile, Dimas and Leon are going wheel to wheel, as Dimas on them softs. Looks like he's gotten Leon, who has gone back to them mediums and has very much fell victim to the safety car, as Colt Paradox looks like he's going to be battling as Sadistic King and Strauss once again go wheel to wheel through turn 4. Strauss still keeps the lead, as Colt Paradox has surrendered P3 to Jacko. He just needs to keep his car on track, but Strauss is doing all he can at the moment to keep any hope of the championship alive. I believe the rules are Colt Paradox has to just complete 90% of the race. Even if he crashes out at the very end, if he's completed 90% of the laps, he will win the championship, even if he retires. Strauss needs to win the race, and at the moment, it looks like his win could be under threat. Here comes Sadistic King once again. It looks like it's going to be an easy pass down the straight. Weaves back to the outside, and Strauss has absolutely no answer for the Alpine, who is through, and Sadistic King is in the lead of the race. Bowie going wheel to wheel with Leon, who is falling. Oh, bit of contact there maybe with Craig, who's coming through. Leon is dropping like a stone here. He's under pressure from Gautier as well, who's going to go down the outside, around the outside, you would think, of Leon, as Leon just about hangs on. We've seen so many incidents in and around this part of the track. Gautier himself has been involved in one of them, but Leon looks like he has held on to the position. And Sadistic King then out front by 4/10. He's got the better tyres. They will drop off towards the end of the race, but if he can build a big enough gap from here, Sadistic King could be on for another win. And let's just see if we can have a look at position changes. Sadistic King started 16th and has found his way back up to the front. Another incredible drive by him. Strauss, though, is trying his absolute best to try and get the position back. Can he go down the inside of Sadistic King? Yes, he can. Sadistic King trying to hang on, but he can't. Strauss fighting for his life out there at the moment. We've had another spin. Dragon on Speed, I think, has lost it. I think there was a spinner there. I'm sure I saw someone lose it or get a little bit close to the wall. As Jacko picks up a further penalty, that's not going to help his battle for the podiums up ahead. He's probably going to drop back a little bit, and I think Colt Paradox might know that. He might know that he's going to get a podium back if it finishes like it does with the penalties that Jacko has. 6 seconds now to his name. But crazy action all over the track. Leon down to P9 as it stands, putting pressure on Gautier, who's on them 6 lap old soft tyres. So let's jump forward to the front then. Jacko, he needs to get some positions. He needs to get ahead of Strauss. He needs to build a gap on Strauss as well if he's going to keep within the podium positions, because at the moment the pack is so close, he will drop all the way towards the back. It looks like Leon and Gautier. Well, Gautier's in the pit lane here. Maybe some damage for the Haas. And Jay Hartnell also in. I do think there was a lot of contact into the S's last time out. That might be why they're pitting. As look at this, Jay Hartnell gets a penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That's not good. But Jacko looks like he is up for the fight here with Strauss, who is clinging to the back of Sadistic King. Getting towards that part of the, 10 laps though, them soft tyres have been on now for Sadistic King. As Dragon on Speed looks like he's battling Leon. Goes a little bit wide. I think he's got the move done on the Ferrari. Yeah, he has no answer, as Dragon on Speed does hold on to that position. But I think Colt Paradox is going to be sat in his cockpit, and he's going to be egging Jacko on to overtake Strauss, because the further back Strauss is from the front, the easier it is for Colt Paradox. He can get his deck chair out and sit back with his feet up in that cockpit and just wait for the laps to tick by, because unless Strauss is in P1, he has not got a worry in the world. He can drop to 5th, 6th, 7th. It doesn't matter for Colt Paradox at this moment in time. Strauss needs to hope that his medium tyres get a second wind, and he needs to hope that they'll be able to... Oh, that could be massive though. Sadistic King, 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. Let's have a look at this though. Leon and Dragon on Speed having a battle, as I think Leon went a little bit wide into turn 4. Those two dropping back from the pack. The top 6 very much out on their own at the moment. But that penalty for Sadistic King may just hand the race back to Strauss, who of course is without penalties. Sadistic King will be kicking himself with that pen. and he's going to have to somehow try and find a 3-second gap, which I don't think is going to happen with them tyres. As this move's going, as Bowie looking at potential move on Dimas here, or is Dimas looking at Bowie? Bowie down the inside, does hold off the Williams driver, as out front Strauss is looking a little bit closer to Sadistic King. Sadistic King has the penalties, of course. Strauss has DRS. He doesn't need to make the move on track. He can wait. He can chill in second, Strauss. He doesn't have to overtake him. But of course, he might want to just finish in P1. If he doesn't win the championship, Strauss might just want to make a statement and win that final race of the season and finish on a high, regardless of the result, as his chances are looking slimmer and slimmer. And if we are beyond 90% of the race now, which I think we are, even if Colt Paradox was to retire from the race, I still feel like he would get the points that would be enough to put him in the position as Strauss fell out with DRS here. Has Sadistic King just started to put his foot down and pull out a gap here? But Jacko could be in with an overtake here. This could be Strauss's championship all but over here if Jacko can make the move. Not quite. Colt Paradox, he's battling Bowie, and sensibly Colt Paradox says, I'm not having any of that. I want to finish this race in one piece. Sensible driving as Jacko once again looking at Strauss round the outside. This could do it for Strauss. He hangs on just, but could he maybe look for a move into Sector 2? We've seen many incidents through here. Not quite. Jacko really making it hard for Strauss as Leon and Dragon on speed swap places. Once again, a great battle between them two. Dimas looks like he has gotten Colt Paradox, and Colt Paradox is off the track. Has he had a spin? Has he had contact? Does he need to pit? Whoa, that might have been a nervy moment for the championship leader. I'm sure Strauss saw him dropping back and thought, is he out the race? But I think, let's have a look. It looks like his wing's intact. Yeah, it looks like he's not suffering from any understeer. He looks fine. But does Strauss look fine? Because he's under pressure from two Alpha Tauris here. Jacko around the outside. That could be it. Strauss is down to P3. And with that, could his championship fight be coming to an end here? Sadistic King's gap is starting to extend. Could he maybe get the 3 seconds? Strauss is just dropping back. What's the interval to the leader? Well, I think he's still close enough, Strauss, to still be the winner of the race if it were to finish as it were at the moment. Colt Paradox is continuing on despite going off the track ever so slightly. But Sadistic King still out front. We'll have to wait and see what the gap is towards the end. I do believe Strauss is within 3 seconds, but as it stands, Strauss would win the race. I believe Bowie would be in and amongst the podium places somewhere. I'm not too sure how it would quite work out. Oh, Strauss looked like he had a bit of a moment there. He's going round the outside of Jacko. Bowie's going to follow his teammate through. Is Bowie going to get a move on Strauss? Of course, let's not forget the battle for P2 in the championship. Bowie needs to finish ahead of Strauss if he's going to have any chance. This is the final lap. This is for P2 in the championship. Strauss might not only be losing his chance at the title, he might have just lost out to P2 as well, as Bowie is through. And on the final lap of the entire season, Bowie might have just nicked P2 in the championship. What an incredible final lap move from JB Bowie. And I don't know if Strauss is going to have enough to fight back with them 20 lap old medium tyres. What a race this has been. But as it stands, JB Bowie will win the final race of the season. He is within 3 seconds of Sadistic King. I believe there are his penalties. We will be on board with Sadistic King. He will cross the line. Provisional P1. He will drop down with the penalties. But he crosses the line to finish first on track. But will drop to third as Bowie does take the win. Strauss P2. Dimas with I think it's his best result of his CRL career thus far, P4. Jacko with a very good P5. Of course, he had a 3-second penalty. And Colt Paradox, despite a spin at the end, was helped by, I think, the sheer number of retirements in this race. He just needed to finish the race today, and he did just that. P6 on track, but Colt Paradox is the Tier 3 Season 5 World Drivers Champion. Congratulations to Colt Paradox. We'll stay on board with him right now. He's kept it together, and he is your champion. Congratulations, Colt Paradox. And I'm also going to say congratulations to JB Bowie, because if I believe, looking at the championship and what Bowie said to me earlier today, he might have just beaten Strauss to P2. That was an amazing race. Well, there we go. JB Bowie wins the Grand Prix then. We'll have to I'll have a little look to see if that indeed is P2. And it is. It will be by 1 point. Because Jay Hartnell got fastest lap, Bowie will get 40 points. Strauss will have 34, which means a 6-point swing towards JB Bowie, which means I think, without any stewards, obviously maybe potential issues, incidents, we'll have to wait and see. But as it stands, I think Bowie has just beaten Strauss by 1 point to P2 in the championship. Colt Paradox wins it. Incredible. Bowie, Strauss, Sadistic King are your three on the podium. We'll be speaking to all three of them, as well as Colt Paradox, your championship winner. We're going to get them on for an interview very, very shortly. I hope you guys enjoyed the rest. Hope you enjoyed the commentary as well. And I need to take a breath. So do forgive me while I try and invite the podium sitters and, of course, our drivers' champion into the party to have a chat with each of them. So I'll be right back. So Statistic King unfortunately can't join us. So we are fittingly going to be joined by the top three in the championship. Two of them were on the podium today, and one of them, of course, was not, but was still our world champion. Let's just see if we can get all three of them in. I believe we have Strauss already in the party. Are you there, Strauss?
Yeah, good evening, good evening.
How are you doing, buddy? Are you okay?
Well, yeah, I just lost P2 in the standings on the championship, so that's a bit of a bummer, last lap. But all right, it was a fun race. I I battled for every position on the track. Great racing from Sadistic as well to have that battle going on at the restart of the race. And yeah, uh, good good job from Bowie to get P2 in the standings, and of course, big congratulations to my best friend called Paradox for the title.
Great words, great sportsmanship there by yourself, Strauss. I mean, what was it like at the end of the race? Because obviously, I'm assuming you knew that Colt Paradox needed to just finish in the top 11,
Yeah.
and I bet you couldn't believe how many drivers were retiring in the race to the point where there was only 11 drivers left. So, was there a point towards the end when you saw that was only 11 drivers left? Were you starting to think that the championship was over and it was down to fighting for P2 with Bowie?
Well, to be honest, it was from the start on. It was not a chance to get the title anymore. I had two mistakes on Baku, Bahrain, and Singapore. If I didn't make them, then it would be another story. But yeah, in hindsight, it was a great race, and I just gave it all to win this race. And in the end, Bowie got the overtake in the last lap, so that's a great job from him.
Yeah, it was an unbelievably dramatic final lap, definitely. But as I say, Strauss, looking at the race results this season, your consistency has been absolutely unbelievable. Barring the odd couple of mistakes, you've been up there pretty much every single race. So yeah, if you're in
Yeah.
this tier again next season, or even if you're in a depending on what tier you are, I'm sure you'll be fighting for a title again. So yeah, unlucky, but
Yeah, well,
you've drove
this
really well this
title
season.
also feels a little bit mine. I am happy to help Cole Paradox with all races, with strategy, and we spoke a lot. And it's good to have him on the top step for championship.
That's what you want to hear. Absolutely great stuff. Thank you very much, Strauss, and congratulations on an amazing
Thank you.
season. We are going to leave the man himself till last. I do want to speak to Bowie first of all. Are you there, Bowie?
Evening, mate.
How are you doing? You okay?
Adrenaline is still pumping. Um,
I mean, you were speaking to me earlier and you said you knew exactly what you needed to do to beat Strauss with Pizza. You had to outscore him by 6 points, and you did exactly that by winning the race on the final lap. What was it like going down to turn four, making that overtake? I bet you it was just absolutely insane when you got that move done.
it felt really good, but it wasn't scary or it wasn't nerve wracking because I've raced with Strauss all season and wheel to wheel with me anyway has been fantastic. So I like when I was alongside, I was just kind of thinking, right, don't go wide.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking, am I going to be worried about turning in on him or him like breaking later? It was just don't go wide and just get to the end of the lap, really. But yeah, it was great. I said to you at the end of the week, didn't I, that I was going to try a two stop, and I thought it backfired initially. But it was just great. It was a great battle and great battling with Cole throughout the race as well, and Strauss. Your move into turn one was great.
Yeah, you three have just been like inseparable for most races. It's great to see you battling. Would you say that I mean, there were so many safety cars. On my own in the comments box, I needed Hedge alongside me because I just could not keep up with all the safety cars. But I'm assuming it was the safety cars that got you onto the right tyre at the end to really push.
Yeah, because I stopped earlier than most, and my intention was to stop then. But then when the first safety cars came out, I thought I'm just going to have to stick it to the end and just try and hold on to P2. Um, but then when obviously the other safety car came out, it was a no-brainer, and Jeff was on the radio straight away. The
Yeah.
first call he's ever got right. But yeah.
Yeah, it was an unbelievable race, an unbelievable championship. You three have just dominated at the top. It's a shame it couldn't go all the way for all three of you, but still managed to find a way of having a dramatic finish. So congratulations on P2 to you, Bowie. And
Thank you, and big congrats to Cole, mate. I think throughout the season, probably the best man won. I think in terms of consistency and everything like that. So just hats off to you, buddy.
Thanks a lot, mate.
well, here he is, Cole Paradox. What can I say?
Whew.
Congratulations, first of all. for holding it together. Obviously, you knew what you needed to do, but just talk us through that race. Was it hard to keep focused, keep it on track? I know you had a bit of a spin towards the end as well. I didn't quite catch what happened. Just what was that race like for you?
Man, I was anxious all day. The nerves got me so bad. I was very, very frightened for the beginning because I did a few practice GPs and I never get a good first lap. So it just was all about keeping it together, keeping it on the track. And I knew I had to be P13, I guess. But everybody DNF'd, so the moment I saw there were only 13 people left, I gave up battling. I just knew I had to finish, come to the line, that's it. Championship, yes!
As I say, you've been Mr. Consistent throughout the season. I think I saw you've not, for every race you've finished, you've never been outside the top 8 or top 9, which is ridiculous. So
I have a P12 somewhere, was my down day.
Yeah, maybe there was a one-off P12, but I mean overall the results have been solid. And I think I saw that as well towards the end. You were just trying to stay out of trouble. What was going through your mind when you saw that there was, I think, 9 retirements? I bet you couldn't believe your luck.
It was incredible. I think even the pressure got even harder to just make it to the line because all I had to do was finish it. And that simple task became a very difficult one, but I managed to do it. I let everyone buy what was faster on the softs. And the moment I spun out was because I had to brake too hard because everyone slowed down a bit because they were battling, and I braked too hard because I didn't want to hit anybody. So I spun out. Too bad.
It was, but at the end of the day, you got the job done, and you are
Absolutely.
the Tier 3 champion. So, a huge congratulations to you.
Thanks a lot, mate. Wonderful feeling. Wonderful.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. And you three have battled all season. I'm sure all the people watching have thoroughly enjoyed it. So, I hope that wherever the three of you are racing next season, if you go up to tier whatever it is, I hope you three can be on track again, because the three of you have just been incredible. For all the races I've commentated,
It was
the battles
lovely
have been
battling
amazing.
all season. Battling with these guys on track has been amazing. They're just fair. You know what you can expect from them. I would love to see them next year in the new tier.
Awesome. I can't wait to see what happens with you guys next as well. So one more time, congratulations to JB Bowie for winning the race, Strauss for just being an amazing driver throughout the season, and of course Cole Paradox for being our Tier 3 CRL champion. Congratulations once again to you.
Thanks a lot, mate.
And that's it.
And also thank you for being our comms today. Did a solid job, I heard.
Thank you very much. It was very difficult without Hedge, especially with 9 DNFs. Like, I didn't know where to look, but yeah, it was fun. You guys said you'd make it an entertaining race, and you've done just that. I hope all the guys watching in the comments have enjoyed it, and I believe that's that. So obviously, if you guys have watched the Tier 3 race tonight, you can obviously go back and check out the Tier 2, Tier 1 races as well. But that is it for CRL for Season 5. That is crazy that it's over, but I'm sure we'll all be back before we even know it for Season 6. Maybe I'm going to be racing in a different team, maybe with some of you guys. That would be nice. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I'm hoping I'm going to be on comms next season with Hedge as well. So a big thanks to everyone for watching. Big thanks to all the drivers for making this an amazing season. And a big thanks to the admins for giving me a role as a driver and as a commentator tonight. And all I've got to say is another big thanks to you guys for watching. And yeah, I'm sure we'll see you guys very soon.
Have a good evening, mate. I'm gonna enjoy this one.
I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will.